Guys, this movie I just watched by Bolaji Ogunmola. Oh my goodness. The point of life. I'm not a Bolaji fan. I'm not a Bolaji fan because I feel like she does mediocre movies. It's just always just like, what is this? This movie made me to start respecting her work. I'm gonna give her flowers because of this movie. Because not only is this movie quite intriguing, it has a lot of take home. It's the lessons. At some point, you gotta realize that you can't love someone into changing. That was my favorite line in the movie. The moment I heard it, I'm like, ah! At some point, you gotta realize you cannot help someone to the extent they can help. Like they will have to be the ones to help themselves. Beautiful movie. Let's get right into it. Micheal, Dappa, and Chinonso, right? Soso is her. That's the name she goes by. Soso. Met at his studio. He was a photographer. Met at his studio. They got married. Rain and green. Rain makes the green grow, something like that. That was their catchphrase, both of them. She loved him, he loved her. She realized that his dad didn't come to the wedding, so she convinced him to go see the dad, both of them. He was very skeptical about it. Eventually he agreed to it. Once he acquiesced, they went to see the dad. The dad was very stringent and quite, I'm not going to say mean, but he was quite obnoxious. So he started blaming Green, the boy, that he was the one responsible for his mom's death. Green got angry, stood up and walked away. And his wife Rain followed. Went back home, and also the man told her, be careful so he doesn't kill you too. So as time went by, she realized that he was smoking marijuana, very hard substance. He was addicted to it. It was so bad. She was angry because it was making him lose focus. It was making him use money carelessly. But he was still put together. It's not the type that, but once he does it, it's almost like he dilapidates. It's like his brain goes into recess, something like that. So she was angry about it. She said they have to go to rehab. He has to go to rehab. They paid for the rehab, and he went there. When he was done, he got back. She thought he was clean. She thought he was sober, but he relapsed. He went back to it. At some point, she went to his dad to ask the dad, what do I do? Where does this guy heal? The dad said, you can't do anything. This guy is addicted to it. The only thing you can do is to leave him. Leave him. But because she loved him, and because she wanted to stick with him, go through it with him until he gets better, she told him he's her husband, she can't leave him. She acts that way, hides the stuff because she's been looking for it. She doesn't get, she doesn't see it. Every time she looks for it, she don't see it. The dad says she check his shoe, blah blah. Even his rectum. That's how bad. She was shocked. The dad also told her that he started doing this when he was 17, and this was what the reason the mom was fasting and praying for him as the only child, and she got chronic ulcer, and that was what killed her. So he is indirectly responsible for his wife's death. So when Rain went back home, she checked, she said, because every time he takes it, he sleeps uncontrollably. He just passes out. He could be literally standing and he's zoomed off. She checked and she found the substance. She went to her friend. She said they are going back to rehab. She went to her friend to borrow some money because at this point they didn't have money. The friend suggested she leaves the man, and so the friend suggested a place where this white garment people, they came to the house, still nothing. So she went to the hospital at some point because she had panic attack. She went to the hospital. The doctor told her it was panic attack. The doctor also told her she was pregnant. The doctor suggested she leaves the man. Anyone who suggested she leaves the man, she tells the person, that's my husband, I ain't gonna leave him. She went back home. That was when reality dawned on her. She started, then the words of her father-in-law replayed. You can never love someone into changing. In fact, you cannot change somebody. They'll have to decide. And they'll have to be disciplined about it. Because the truth is, change is hard. But if you have decided you're going to change, you have to be disciplined about it. Because there's every tendency you're going to have all the temptations coming your way to test your decision. And if you're not careful, you're going to go back to your old ways sooner than you think. So, she started packing her stuff to go. He saw her, he knelt down. She was just about leaving through the door. He knelt down. He said that was the last time he was gonna change. She told him she was pregnant. He could literally go from a serious, very loving husband, and all this while he didn't put his hands on her. Nothing. It doesn't make him aggressive. It just makes him to get into a world that you can't even understand. So she decided to say, you know what, okay, my bags are going to be close to the door. So the moment you go back on your word, I'm leaving. So he made her a promise, and they rekindled their love. And, things were going okay. But there was no money because he had used the money in the account to buy whatever. So the person in charge of the property where he was doing where he had his studio, the person had to eject him because he was not, he couldn't keep up with the rent. Whatever money he gets, so he ejected him. She had also lost her job. So, but she was holding me together. Then they got back from a dinner they went to, and he was supposed to go change so they could, have fun or whatever. And she kept calling his name. She went to the room. She found him lying on the bed, still like he would every time he takes the stuff. Also, she realized that he takes Colorado. Then she called out his name. He was not responding. She tried. This time around, she knew it was different. He had passed on. He had taken the worst of it all, and his body couldn't handle it, and the body shut down, literally, and he died. And she was devastated. I love the tragic end of this movie, because it's not every time Prince Charming is gonna find Barbie and they're gonna get married, and live happily ever after. I love the fact that Bolaji kept it the way life is gonna hit you sometimes, especially when you've refused to change, when you repudiate change, when you are recalcitrant. That's what you're gonna get. I love the movie. I love this movie. The lessons in it, and also they also wrote "Say No to Substance Abuse" and whatever. The lessons in it. Just five cast characters, 5, but the movie still made sense. And Micheal Dappa has become my favorite. In fact, once I see his movie, I'm watching it. I do not care. It's because the way he got into character to portray how useless, not useless in a useless way. Oh my God, I wish I can preach. Not useless in a useless way, but useless in a way that he has gone out of his full senses. He's still looking responsible. However, he's slow. So he played the character succinctly. It was beautiful. It was brilliant, fluid. He was very lucid, as clear as day. The moment he got into that, you knew he had gotten into that. The moment he's out of that, you knew he's out of that. But there was a thin line between him getting into that and getting out of that. And he did a great job. And Soso, take your flowers. She used the best people for this role. Micheal was a star. The way he interpreted, I think he's the reason I was watching him, because he knew how to just, man, I don't know. You go see the movie and take one thing with you. You can never love someone into changing. I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye.